Hello everybody, welcome back to this year's Tropical Update for August 4th. We're currently watching Tropical Storm Debby located off the coast of Florida, making its way towards the Big Bend area where we do have an extreme impacts likely with the storm. Sorry for the kind of slideshow, not normal slideshow type format today. It kind of is what it is due to my traveling. But Debby is actually a little far north, a little more to the north of this, but this is the updated impact map. Extreme impacts likely for Georgia and South Carolina, as well as significant impacts well into South Carolina, as well as for the Big Bend region of Florida. That's due to storm surge in Florida, due to rainfall in Georgia and South Carolina, also due to rainfall in the remainder of the high risk and outlying areas within that system. Here is the satellite presentation of Debby at the moment. As you can see, a decent amount of convection. The storm is strengthening this morning. We are now up to winds of 50 miles an hour and a minimum pressure of 1001. Scrolling back up there, that way you can see all the alerts. There's a lot of watches and warnings. In fact, the whole board is lit up. Although this will not become a major hurricane, I have issued a major hurricane alert. Again, major hurricane alerts are issued whenever impacts are expected to be significant or extreme for any of the categories. And at this point, we have flooding and storm surge reaching those thresholds at the moment. Winds will not be the big concern with this, but as we'll see in a second, impacts will extend well outside of the cone, as is obvious at the moment from nowhere on the entire up until the Big Bend coast of Florida is in the cone, and yet every location along that area is under a tropical storm watch or warning at this point in time. Further to the north along the Panhandle in the Big Bend area, we do have a hurricane warning in effect and newly issued tropical storm watch for the coast of Georgia. They expect that to be extended up through the South Carolina coastline as we move on with time. Storm surge watch also in effect there. Expect storm surge watches and warnings to be issued for perhaps North Florida all the way up into South and North Carolina. Storm surge warning in effect for this area here under the hurricane warning as well. And we are expecting probably in the neighborhood of 6 to 10 feet of storm surge. Again, the main impacts with this will be flooding and storm surge. So let's start with flooding. As you can see here, the Weather Prediction Center calling for 20 to 30 inches of rain here in southern South Carolina, southern coastal South Carolina, as well as areas like Savannah, Georgia. So Savannah, Hilton Head, all of those areas need to be watching out. Even Charleston will get plenty of rain. We're talking in excess of 1.5 feet or so in Charleston. Even places further away from the impacts like Augusta, Wilmington, North Carolina need to be watching out for this. Jacksonville, I wouldn't be surprised if some isolated areas, especially on the north side of the city, see around 1 foot of rain. Tallahassee, again, a little tick to the north in terms of track, could give Tallahassee even more rain. And as it is, they're going to have over 1/2 foot of rain. We're talking a major rainmaker, and the reason for that is this super slow storm motion. We're talking less than 5 knots per day. You see, Monday it makes landfall. Tuesday it's over Georgia. Wednesday it's just off the coast of Georgia. Thursday just off the coast of South Carolina. Then Friday in South Carolina. So it's not moving a whole lot within that time frame. We would normally expect it to last maybe a day or two as it covers those regions. We're looking at 6 to 10 feet from the Suwannee River up to the Angelo River, as well as down to Yankeetown. We're looking at a significant amount of storm surge as well. 4 to 7, 4 to 6 outside of that, and that tapers down as we move away. We're looking at 2 to 4 feet in Tampa Bay, Charlotte Harbor, and 1 to 3 south of Bonita Beach. 2 to 4 along the coast of Georgia. Expect these numbers again, and South Carolina, North Carolina, to be included with time as we get closer to impacts with this storm. As I mentioned, the impacts do extend well outside of the cone. We're looking north of Tampa Bay all the way through the Big Bend into much of the Florida Panhandle for tropical storm force winds in Florida. Those will continue into Georgia, most of southern Georgia, and a good chunk, probably most of South Carolina as well as we move on with time. So it kind of depends. If the storm moves back out over water, we'll have a bit of a rejuvenation of the storm. If it doesn't, it'll still be a major rainmaker. In terms of wind, though, it matters whether or not it moves over water. In terms of the overall impacts, that is the rain and the storm surge, it's really not going to matter. Also, a major impact with this storm will be the tornadoes. And in fact, this probably is justified to move up to the moderate category here soon because of this large 5% area over much of Florida today. North Florida and southern Georgia tomorrow. And this is probably really a 2% area over South Carolina and Georgia tomorrow, but they have to do 5% because of the range at which we're forecasting. And so as a result of all these things, we will see probably a number of tornadoes, especially today and tomorrow, perhaps into Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Again, this storm will be impacting these areas in the southeastern United States for quite some time. I think, yes, that is all for now. I'll be back again. I'm traveling, so making these updates is a little more time intensive than they would normally be, and also they're going to be morning Eastern time updates rather than evening ones. That's all for now. Chris Dixon, InfoWeather Media.